The air was thick with anticipation as thousands of people filled the streets of Birmingham on that hot summer day in 1965. It was a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement, with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. poised to deliver a speech that many believed could change the nation. Families, neighbors, and friends had gathered from near and far, united in their fight for equality and justice. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement and determination, but also with the tension that came from years of struggle against racial injustice. The crowd was a tapestry of humanity, men, women, and children of all ages, their faces showcasing hope, resilience, and sometimes fear. Banners waved proudly, proclaiming messages of freedom and unity, while chants of support echoed through the streets. But beneath this hopeful energy lay exhaustion. Many had traveled long distances under the sweltering sun to be part of this historic rally. As Dr. King took the stage amidst thunderous applause, his presence was magnetic. He spoke passionately about dreams of equality and the need for change, capturing the hearts and minds of everyone present. Yet, while the words flew passionately from his lips, the physical toll of the heat and pressure began to affect some individuals among the crowd. It was then that Calvin Brooks, a dedicated young activist, felt overwhelmed by it all. His passion for the movement had driven him to attend this rally, but as he stood listening to Dr. King's powerful message, he suddenly found himself struggling. This gathering meant everything to him. It was a chance to be part of something bigger than himself. Little did anyone know that this day would take a dramatic turn that would touch lives far beyond Birmingham's borders. As the sun blazed overhead, the atmosphere at the Birmingham rally was electric. Hope filled the air, intertwining with palpable tension. Activists stood shoulder to shoulder, their hearts racing as they prepared to hear Dr. King's words, which were often described as a lifeline for those fighting against injustice. Each chant and cheer echoed the shared determination to bring about change, yet there was an undercurrent of anxiety that could not be ignored. Many in the crowd had endured years of oppression and discrimination, and this rally represented a powerful moment to unite and stand firm together. For some, it was a chance to reclaim their dignity in front of a nation that had often turned a blind eye to their struggles. As the crowd swelled, so did the pressure. Everyone felt the weight of history resting on their shoulders. They knew that their voices needed to be heard, but the fear of repercussions loomed large. In the midst of this charged atmosphere, excitement mingled with exhaustion. Some activists had traveled long distances under the sweltering sun, driven by the hope that change was possible. Yet, as the hours passed, fatigue began to take its toll on many. People fanned themselves with flyers and wiped beads of sweat from their brows, but their spirits remained high, fueled by the belief that Dr. King's message could ignite something greater. Calvin Brooks, like many others, was caught in this whirlwind of emotions. His heart pounded with both pride and anxiety as he listened intently to Dr. King's call for justice. He felt a sense of belonging among the crowd, yet the weight of expectation bore down on him. In this moment of passion and pressure, Calvin's resolve would soon be tested in an unexpected way, marking a turning point in the rally that would resonate far beyond Birmingham. Calvin Brooks stood among the throngs of passionate activists, his heart swelling with pride. At 30 years old, he had devoted himself to the civil rights movement, believing deeply in the dream of equality for all. Today, he felt that dream was within reach, but the weight of the moment pressed heavily on him. As he listened to Dr. King speak, Calvin felt a mix of exhilaration and anxiety. This rally was a chance to make history, yet the expectations were immense. The heat of the summer sun bore down relentlessly, wrapping the crowd in a thick blanket of warmth that seemed to sap energy from everyone present. Calvin wiped the sweat from his brow, trying to shake off the fatigue that began to creep in. He had traveled a long way to be here, and while he was energized by the presence of fellow activists, the oppressive heat was relentless. Each breath felt heavier, and his heart raced not just from excitement, but from a growing sense of pressure. Around him, people shouted slogans and waved signs, their voices rising in a collective call for justice. Yet, amidst the cheers and chants, Calvin could feel his strength waning. He wanted to be strong for his peers and for the movement he believed in so passionately. But as the minutes ticked by, he found himself feeling more and more overwhelmed. Just as he thought he might lose his footing, a wave of dizziness washed over him. Calvin struggled to focus on Dr. King's words as his vision blurred. The world around him began to spin, and despite his best efforts to stay upright, he collapsed onto the ground. In that moment of vulnerability, he unknowingly set off a chain of events that would resonate throughout the South and beyond. The rally's energy shifted dramatically as Calvin fought to maintain his balance. With the crowd chanting and Dr. King's voice booming in the background, his world began to blur and swirl. Just moments before, he had felt an overwhelming sense of purpose, but now that fervor was drowned out by a fog of dizziness. Unable to keep his footing any longer, Calvin stumbled forward and collapsed to the ground. Panic rippled through the crowd like a sudden wave. Those nearby gasped, their cheers turning into urgent whispers. "Is he okay?" someone shouted, while others rushed to his side, their faces etched with worry. The lively atmosphere transformed into one of concern and confusion as people turned their attention away from Dr. King on the podium to this unexpected crisis. Dr. King's speech faltered, and he instinctively stepped back from the lectern. Without hesitation, he made his way through the crowded masses, maneuvering around shocked onlookers who were still processing what had just happened. As he knelt beside Calvin, the hum of the rally faded into an anxious silence, replaced by the sound of concerned murmurs. Calvin lay there, breathless and pale, while worried faces surrounded him. The heat radiated from the ground beneath him, mixing with the rising fear of those who cared for him. For everyone present, this moment brought a stark realization. Activism was not just a battle fought on stages or through speeches. It was personal and often perilous. As Dr. King leaned closer to Calvin, the weight of the moment hung heavily in the air. He spoke softly yet firmly, offering words of encouragement that would ignite a fire in countless others facing their own struggles. This moment of vulnerability would soon transform into a rallying cry, one that encapsulated both the fight for civil rights and the resilience needed to endure its challenges. As Calvin lay on the ground, the atmosphere around him shifted. Dr. King stood at the podium, his voice resonating through the crowd when he suddenly noticed the commotion at his feet. Without a moment's hesitation, he paused his speech, a rare and pivotal decision for a leader who often commanded attention with his powerful oratory. The urgency in the air was unmistakable, and in that instant, Dr. King demonstrated not just his leadership but also his profound compassion. With great determination, Dr. King stepped down from the platform, his face a mix of concern and resolve. The crowd watched in stunned silence as he navigated through the sea of worried faces and outstretched arms, all drawn toward Calvin's prone figure. As soon as he reached Calvin, Dr. King's demeanor shifted entirely. He knelt beside him, creating a personal connection amid a sea of uncertainty. "Stay with me," he urged gently, his voice steady yet filled with warmth. Calvin's eyes fluttered open, and though he struggled to focus, he could feel Dr. King's presence grounding him. The poignant moment encapsulated both vulnerability and strength, a reminder that even leaders face human ailments. Dr. King whispered words of encouragement meant not just for Calvin but for anyone feeling overwhelmed by the fight for justice. "You are not alone," he said firmly, igniting a flicker of hope within Calvin and those around them. The powerful imagery of their shared struggle resonated deeply within the hearts of everyone witnessing this heartfelt interaction. In that crucial moment, Dr. King transformed fear into resolve, showcasing that true leadership isn't just about delivering speeches. It's about lifting others when they falter. His compassionate response helped reshape the narrative of the rally into one that emphasized solidarity and care, an essential pillar in the ongoing fight for civil rights across the South. Kneeling beside Calvin, Dr. King looked intently into his eyes, the heat of the crowd around them fading into the background. The tension in the air was thick, but Dr. King's presence radiated a calming energy. He leaned in closer, speaking softly yet firmly, words that would be etched in the hearts of everyone present. "Calvin, you are not alone in this struggle," he said, his voice resonating with conviction. "You have fought bravely for our cause," Dr. King continued, drawing on the shared strength of the movement. "Remember, every ounce of effort you put forth is a step toward freedom for all of us." It is all right to feel overwhelmed. It takes courage to stand up and fight against injustice. His words were not just meant for Calvin but echoed through the souls of many who found themselves weary from the relentless battle for civil rights. Calvin's eyes widened as he heard these compassionate affirmations. They gave him strength to push through his own struggles. In this movement, Dr. King insisted, we lift each other up when we stumble. Your fight matters just as much as anyone else's. As he spoke, those around them began to lean in closer, their worries transforming into shared determination. The powerful imagery of resilience stirred something within the crowd. People began to grasp each other's hands, an unspoken promise of support growing stronger by the second. Dr. King finished by saying, in our darkest moments, we will find hope together. Stand firm, we are building a brighter tomorrow. This moment became a powerful rallying cry that would resonate throughout not only Birmingham but also across the South, reminding everyone that vulnerability could coexist with strength and that collective support was essential in their quest for justice and equality. As Dr. King knelt beside Calvin and spoke words of encouragement, the atmosphere around them began to transform. The initial panic that had swept through the crowd slowly dissipated, replaced by a palpable sense of unity. Those who had rushed to Calvin's side now found themselves drawing strength from Dr. King's compassionate presence. The rallying call for support turned into a collective promise that they would stand together, no matter the challenges they faced. The faces in the crowd shifted from worry to determination. People began to grasp each other's hands, forming a chain of solidarity that connected them all. Dr. King's actions had not only reassured Calvin but reignited a fire within everyone present. As he encouraged Calvin to remember his strength, it resonated deeply with those who had felt similarly overwhelmed in their fight for civil rights. Chants began to swell once more, but this time they were infused with newfound energy and purpose. The crowd's voices rose together in an anthem of hope, echoing through the streets of Birmingham. We are in this together! They shouted, their words bouncing off the walls and filling the air with conviction. In that moment, Dr. King's influence reached far beyond his immediate actions. He had transformed fear into a powerful reminder of their shared mission. As the rally continued, people looked at one another with renewed resolve. They were reminded that vulnerability was part of their journey and that supporting each other was essential for their collective success. Calvin's collapse and Dr. King's response became a pivotal moment, turning a scene of chaos into one of strength and unity. The impact was profound. What could have been a setback instead became an inspiration for many across the South, reinforcing the belief that together they could overcome any obstacle in their quest for justice and equality. Calvin Brooks' experience at the Birmingham rally became a powerful symbol of resilience for civil rights activists across the South. His sudden collapse, witnessed by thousands, highlighted both the physical and emotional toll that the struggle for justice could exert on individuals. Yet, it was Dr. King's compassionate response that transformed this moment of vulnerability into a beacon of hope and strength. In the weeks and months that followed, Calvin's story circulated among activist circles, growing into a narrative of perseverance. People began to refer to him as the Warrior of Birmingham, a testament to not just his personal fight but to the collective struggle faced by many. His experience inspired others who felt overwhelmed by the weight of their activism, reminding them that feeling vulnerable did not equate to weakness. Activists began to share Calvin's story at meetings and gatherings, using it as a rallying point for those who might doubt their resolve. They understood that each setback brought them closer to their goal of equality, and Calvin's experience served as a reminder that they were all in this together. He embodied the spirit of resilience, someone who, despite feeling overwhelmed, stood up for his beliefs and continued to inspire others. As Calvin recovered, he joined discussions about the movement, sharing his story and emphasizing the need for mutual support among activists. His journey resonated deeply within the community, encouraging many to keep fighting even when faced with adversity. He became a living example that perseverance in the face of challenges could lead to progress. Ultimately, Calvin Brooks' legacy became intertwined with the broader narrative of the civil rights movement. His experience illustrated how moments of struggle contribute to a greater cause, inspiring future generations to stand firm in their fight for justice and equality. His story is a testament to resilience, reminding activists that every effort counts and that they are never alone in their journey. The incident at the Birmingham rally, marked by Calvin Brooks' collapse and Dr. King's compassionate response, encapsulated larger themes within the civil rights movement. It illustrated how individual experiences can serve as powerful catalysts for collective action and inspire widespread change. In a movement characterized by both personal sacrifice and communal struggle, Calvin's moment became a poignant reminder that each person's journey contributes to the greater narrative of justice. Calvin's story resonated beyond his immediate surroundings, highlighting the notion that vulnerability can lead to strength. When Dr. King knelt beside him, he showcased that empathy and support were not just powerful tools for individuals but vital components of a thriving movement. This act of compassion encouraged others to share their own struggles, fostering an environment where activists felt empowered to express their fears and aspirations. As stories like Calvin's circulated among civil rights supporters, they sparked conversations about resilience in the face of adversity. Activists began to understand that their individual battles were interconnected. Each challenge they faced was part of a larger fight for equality and justice. This realization galvanized them to continue advocating for change, reinforcing the idea that personal sacrifices could lead to a collective awakening. Moreover, Calvin's experience underscored the importance of solidarity within the movement. The way the crowd rallied around him served as a microcosm of what was happening across the South, a growing recognition that progress could only be achieved through unity. The shared determination to uplift one another transformed their struggles into a unified force against oppression. Ultimately, this incident highlighted how individual stories like Calvin's could ignite broader movements for change. It showed that every voice counts and every act of courage contributes to a larger tapestry of resilience and hope, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who fought tirelessly for justice during this critical era in American history. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s impact during the Birmingham rally in 1965 was profound, but it also reflected the unwavering dedication he exhibited throughout his life as a leader in the civil rights movement. His compassionate response to Calvin Brooks' collapse not only highlighted the importance of empathy but also reinforced his role as a beacon of hope for countless individuals striving for justice. Dr. King understood that true leadership meant engaging with the struggles of others and fostering a sense of community among activists. Throughout his life, Dr. King consistently emphasized the power of nonviolence and unity in confronting oppression. His speeches inspired millions to believe in the possibility of change, promoting a vision of equality grounded in shared humanity. The words he spoke at that rally resonated far beyond Birmingham, becoming part of a larger narrative that motivated countless individuals to join the fight for civil rights across the nation. The legacy of Dr. King's leadership is marked by his ability to uplift those around him, reminding them that they were not alone in their struggles. He transformed moments of despair into opportunities for growth, encouraging activists to draw strength from one another. This ripple effect created a robust network of support that was essential for the progress made during the civil rights movement. In reflecting on Dr. King's contributions, it is clear that his influence continues to inspire new generations fighting for justice. His teachings remind us that every act of courage contributes to a collective struggle, and that hope is a powerful force in overcoming adversity. Dr. King's legacy serves as a reminder that despite the challenges faced, the fight for equality and justice is ongoing, and it is driven by the steadfast belief in the potential for change through unity and compassion. His life remains an enduring symbol of hope and dedication for all who continue to pursue a more just world.